Good evening, and welcome to a special edition of Film Talk. I am your host, Tiffany Simple, and I have the pleasure of having an intimate conversation with Houston's own Courtney Glaude.
How are you?
Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
I've never met anyone who I felt like I wanted to tell them, I'm so proud of you.
Oh, well, thank you.
Although this is my first time meeting you and all, just the research that I've done on you, I was reading and watching, and I'm like, I don't even know this guy, and I'm so proud of him.
Thank you. I
You have a
appreciate that.
very impressive resume.
I'm working on it. I am. I'm in the grips of things right now.
I could tell you're very humble, too.
Well, I always tell people that this isn't my gift anyway. It wasn't given to me, so I'm very, very humble and proud to have it.
I love it. I think that one of the speakers on one of your bios stated that you're spiritually grounded.
Yes.
So that's where that comes from.
Absolutely.
You're also known to be a storyteller. Is that right?
Yeah, one of the best, I think. I would think so. One of the best. One of my dreams is to be known as the best storyteller ever. Like, it's not really about directing. It's not about like producing. I just want to be one of the best or the best storyteller ever, and that's white, black, Asian. Just one of the best storytellers ever.
Everybody loves a good story, but there was also something that stuck out to me, that your daughter played a huge role in the inspiration behind you writing.
Yeah, I've always had the gift of storytelling, so I've always had the gift of writing. So what would happen was, like, when I was a kid, I would write, and I would write stories, and I would always stay in the house and write. And that kind of got off track because when I, was in my 20s, I started doing music. So I would do music, but nothing really ever transpired from music. But I was so attached to the music. So when my daughter was born, I think I had like $8 in the bank, like 8.
Wow.
And I was like, I remember we were in she had like a heart murmur, and we were in the emergency room, not the emergency room, sorry, we were in the little baby area where they keep the
NICU.
baby. Yeah, we was in the NICU, and I remember just looking at her, and I was just like, well, like, the life I've lived is cool for me, but I can't take care of her with $8 in the bank as my savings.
Wow.
And I remember I went in the waiting room, and it was just me and God, and I was just like, hey, whatever it is that you want me to do, I'm cool. Whatever it is that you want me to do. And literally, like a day later, I got a call from a random old friend that I hadn't talked to in maybe like 10 years. They were like, well, I wrote a book, and I remember you used to write, and I want you to turn it into a script. And for me, I try not to pass up when God talked to me about things.
Absolutely.
And honestly, since that moment, we took my daughter home maybe a day later. I picked up a check from her 2 days later, and I ain't been back down to $8, since.
That's beautiful.
It's great. Yeah, I have like a lot of people ask me about like the direction that I've went in, or the journey I've went in, or whatever it is, and like I tell them all the time. I just had a conference, and like I tell them, like, my faith is strong, and it's so strong that I'm a faster. If you don't know what fasting is giving up something or adding something in sacrifice to show God, or sacrifice for God for what He's done for you, or show Him. So I am a strong believer in, if I ask God for something, I have to do something that's worthy of Him giving it to me.
I love it.
So, a couple close people know I was reading, and I'm not a Bible scholar. I was reading, I believe, and I forgot what it is, but I think the Israelites walked around the walls of Jericho.
Oh, until they came falling down.
Right.
Yeah.
So when I read that, I was also reading this book called The Circle Maker, and I asked God for Houston. I was like, I want Houston. Like, I want it. So what came to me was, okay, well, if I'm asking God for Houston, you got to do something for it. So
what are you willing to do for it? Yes.
I walked the Beltway of Houston. It took me like 2 or 3 times. But it was like 20. It's like Beltway is like 80 miles, first of all.
Yeah, I know. I live here.
Yeah, but it took me like 2 or 3 times, and
wow.
Yeah, I got it. And since then, that dedication. Since then, it's been like flooding, like totally.
Wow.
Totally different game.
Well, the Beltway, is it Beltway 8?
Yeah.
And you had $8 in the bank?
Yeah.
See,
Hey,
look at that
you know
correlation.
what? No, time out. I
You
just
see
not
that?
thinking about that. And then this the year 2018.
Wow.
Wait a minute.
But do you know what the number 8 is in the Bible?
I know somebody
New beginnings.
New beginnings. Everybody's
Yes.
been telling me that.
Yes.
Everybody's been telling me that.
Awesome.
Wow, I gotta write that down.
You
That's-
do need to. I love numbers.
Yeah, that's new for you. That's new for me. Like right now, like I just thought about that.
Yay.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I'm
We gonna
glad I
keep
could.
that
I'm
one.
glad I could be a part of that
I
moment
got-
with
I
you,
know,
Mr.
we gotta keep that
Glaude.
one. We gotta keep that one.
So listen, you have a movie coming out, Blink.
Blink.
The title alone is powerful to me because a blink can be powerful. A lot can happen
That's exactly
in
what-
the midst of a
eye.
blink, in the blink of an eye. So tell us a little bit about Blink.
Blink is a story that deals with domestic violence within a relationship. In the story, there's a couple that would be the perfect couple to the outside world. Both of them have really good jobs. The male in it, he's a lawyer that do things for the community. She's a teacher. She's actually one of the best teachers at her school. And the problem that they have is domestic violence. Now, Blink not only talks about them, it also talks about the people that are around them that see this going on and choose not to do anything. The direction that I wanted to go with Blink is totally mental. It's the mentality of these people, not
Right.
just the action. I didn't want to do a movie where we're running around beating people with
Right.
no purpose.
Right.
So I wanted to discuss the mentality of the person, the
Abused and the abuser.
abuser, the abused, and also the witnesses of it, and how they feel, and how everybody is affected by
How
the
everyone
situation.
plays a role
Yeah,
in that.
no one's out of it, regardless
That's
of what
right.
you want to do or not. No one's out of it if you know what's going on.
I agree.
Like,
And it's such a necessary conversation, and I believe that everyone, whether it's them personally, but they know someone
Yeah.
who is going through it, or they know someone who has been through it,
Or they have themselves.
or they themselves
Yeah,
have
I
gone
think
through it.
Our tagline is "You know me, or you are me, or you know me."
Wow.
That's our tagline. 1 out of 3 women have been abused or know someone that has. That's how big the demographic is. Right?
And it's usually a perfect picture that everyone else sees, but not on the inside.
It's and this is a topic that comes up every time. Everybody says what goes on in the house stays in the house.
Right.
So we've been raised that way.
Right. Right.
And what we are learning is that we're also raising our children to be the same way that we were raised to be, but this is a different time now. See, technology is bringing everything to light.
Right.
All of the things that we've seen in the news have got caught on camera.
Right.
Haven't been filmed.
Very true.
So imagine if these cameras weren't there, we wouldn't be, if the cameras weren't there, we wouldn't have the football scandal right now.
Huh.
If cameras weren't the way that they were right now.
That's very true.
So imagine 20 years ago, this same thing was going on, and nobody really knew about it, or nobody really talked about it. It's the same
So
thing.
would you say that you're, with your daughter in mind, I'm sure in some capacity when you're making a film of this magnitude, are you looking to save daughters around the world, bring exposure? And I don't know if save is a word, but maybe bring exposure.
It's to bring exposure and to save everyone, because the female, she's not the only one that's being affected by these things happening. It's not, even though she could be the battered, she's not the only one that suffers from this situation. And absolutely, I would love for our kids to see it and become, but there are like women out there right now that still have a life ahead of them. Like your life is not over just because you went through this situation. There is help out there. There's help out there. There's organizations. There are just people out there. And also there are people out there that need to know it's okay to help and how to help. Because if you go at a woman the wrong way, she'll shut you out of the situation totally. So you have to know how to help as well.
So this is an intimate setting. So I want to ask you an intimate question. In your bio, your video bio, I recall I don't know if it was your mother, but it was a female figure in your life stating that your dad wasn't around. How did that shape who you are right now?
I'm not. My dad not being around was honestly like a blessing to me because I don't know who I would have became if he was, because he was really, really a street guy. Like, he was in and out of prison a lot. So, like, who would I have admired him and wanted to be that person, or how would I have looked at him, and what would have changed me about it? And I'm a strong believer in, like, I love all of the things that were against me because it put me in a position to think like I think now. Now I'm going to raise my daughter. What type of dad would she have had if I would have had an in and out dad? So I'm not saying that, and it's probably some like deep dark scar. I just haven't experienced that scar yet to be affected by it like that.
You're so young, and yet you seem so old.
Yeah, I was raised by my grandmother. Yeah, I still prop my feet up. I do. I bathe in Epsom salt, so I don't, I got the old ways.
That's what's up. So growing up in one of Houston's most historical neighborhoods, I would imagine you've probably heard of or even maybe experienced some things that help you pull from those to add to Blink.
So Fifth Ward, Trinity Garden area is where I really came up at. And really all it teaches you is just about being aware of yourself. People say, Fifth Ward is a hard neighborhood. It is a hard neighborhood, but the people that come out of Fifth Ward, do something. But I think that's Houston in general. Houston is just not a really easy city to be successful in.
I agree.
So I think that what happened with me was everything that was formed, everything that was standing there against me just made me stronger to be able to take more for what the world is going to present me in general. That's what, the neighborhood of Fifth Ward do to most young men. And I had a strong mom and a strong grandmother that wasn't going to let the streets take me anyway.
I love it. And we were talking about numbers earlier, Courtney, and then you being from Fifth Ward, and that's the number of grace.
See?
So look at you.
Yeah,
You're doing your thing. I love it.
I call you on Mondays because these numbers make sense. Yeah.
Good. I'm glad they do. I'm just enjoying this conversation with you, and I know we don't have a whole lot of time, but going back to your bio, I just wanted to do this really quickly. I don't think anybody was paid to say anything nice about you.
I wouldn't even know that.
Of course not. And I just wanted to read some of the things that they said, not that you haven't heard them, but creative. You're born to do this. You're unique, spiritually grounded, obviously, a storyteller. You paint the perfect picture. And one of my favorites was you're going to provoke people to think.
The thing about the people that are around me, they've always said that they knew I was going to be here before I knew it. So it's cool to, those interviews were done generally over the years, and I always stepped out of the room, so it came at perfect timing to put it together. These are the opinions of, I always ask God, one of my prayers is I want to be a blessing to everybody I come in contact with. And I say that selfishly because I want to be a blessing, because I want, if something ever happens to me, I want people to watch over my daughter in life. So I treat people
That's right.
the way that I want them to treat her, not necessarily the way that I want them to treat me. So I hope they was genuine about it.
No, they were. They were, just as I'm genuine about this interview. And like I said, I'm so excited to be here with you. One of the words also that I forgot to mention was unforgettable, and that you are inevitably, you will be the most creative content creator of our era. Is that pressure for you to hear that?
No, I believe it.
Good.
I'm very humble in my heart that I know that, God blessed me with the things that I have. But because of that, in the same moment, storytelling is, and I say this with the humblest heart, if y'all love Blink, y'all have no idea what's
to come.
Blink, I can't say it. But yeah, I love Blink as well. But if that is provoking people in this form, you have no idea And I always say I strive to be the best storyteller ever. Don't put black in front of that. I'm challenging every genre and every perspective. Like my next film, I'm going to get a director to direct it because I just want to focus on a story. Like, directing is cool, you know. I'm not gonna say that's just my niche, though,
Right,
you know?
right.
But
You know where you're comfortable
I
at.
know I'm comfortable
Right.
in writing that story and telling you how they put it down. But other than that, you know, like I just want to sit back and write and be that as a man.
Well, Courtney, we want you to continue to be boldly unapologetic in your approach. And that was a piece from your bio.
Oh, that was me?
I love that.
Yeah, that gets
boldly
me in
unapologetic. Yeah, but if there's a story that needs to be told, I'm not apologizing about what needs to be said.
True. It's fun though. This film is amazingly fun to me. Like I take it serious, but I don't take it serious.
Right.
It's fun. I enjoy it. I don't like drama on my set. And I say this all the time. I'm the one spending money, so I should be the only one that can get angry on set. I don't really do attitudes or anything. This is fun and this is life and we're supposed to be enjoying it. We're being put in a position that our gift is film.
That's
like
right.
That, you know, like
That's right.
How can we complain about that?
Right.
I really want to live my best life today and do the best things that I could possibly do. So,
Houston, we have Courtney Glaude. You're gonna see this man everywhere. Trust me, you're gonna see him everywhere. Film coming out on
March
2nd through the 8th. It's practically at every theater in Houston. I'll be at the Willowbrook one, by the way.
You can go to Willowbrook, Deerbrook, First Colony, Studio 30, and Gulf Point. March 2nd through the 8th. You can get online, AMC Theaters, and look up Blink. All of the showtimes are on there, here and Atlanta.
The average person has 10 seconds between blinks. Having someone love you unconditionally, it's amazing.
And this is Miss Jordan. She's a new teacher-student counselor.
Everyone can't have that fairy tale.
I do it because I love you.
You may not get it, but I do. My husband loves me.
See, I need pointers.
How about happy wife, happy life? I got it. The overprotective husband.
You're wrong. I just hope that you don't end up dead wrong.
I bust my ass to make sure you have the things you need, and you don't appreciate any of that.
You fought half the battle for him already.
You could have done something,
You have to go help her.
but you didn't.
It's only a blink away.
Woo! Now that got real. That was like watching, someone in real life. That was amazing. That trailer, if that trailer don't pull him out, I don't know what will.
That's what I'm saying. No, it is like watching someone in real life. That's someone's story every day.
Great job.
Thank you.
And kudos to the cast. Oh my goodness. So Courtney, I am so green when it comes to this whole filming thing. Like typically, how long did it take you to film Blink?
To actually be on set, we filmed for about 21 days, 21 to 30 days. Writing the script, it took me a month. I literally take a month off to write all the time, that means I'm not really answering my phone. The only thing I'm doing is me and my daughter. For that
Really?
month. Yeah, and then pre-production took 3 months, film for a month, and editing took 6 because we were filming in the process. So, and we're actually trying to cut that down. This was our first feature, so we ran into a lot of just things that we just didn't know, and we didn't figure out until after it was done. So we have a faster process now.
So what was it like casting for this?
Horrible. Yeah, because this is the thing. Because I know what I want.
Right.
So for this being my first feature, I think I was looking for, at first I was looking for what I thought I wanted. I need this person to look like this. I need this person to look like this. So at first, this film was casted twice. So I casted it, but then when I got us in a reading, I didn't like what I was getting. and then I chose to cast it again. And what I realized is, with this film, I cast it for talent, not for looks, not
Okay.
for a certain
I love it.
demographic. I
Right,
cast it
right.
for talent, and I think that's what made it come out as good as it is. Houston has a lot of talent in it, just a lot of untapped talent because there's not a lot of people doing work down here.
I agree. Houston is definitely a gumbo of talent, and not enough people know the resources on where to go. If there's a casting somewhere, like I think that there can be more efforts in some of these, I guess, filmmakers or whatnot, putting it more out there so that they can actually get to these places. But you've done an excellent job doing that. And there's a lot of upcoming filmmakers that I believe you inspire, that probably aspire to be, in your shoes one day.
Yeah.
So what are some nuggets that you would leave with those up and coming filmmakers?
Well, number one, you gotta work with the Milton brothers.
All right.
No, I'm kidding. I'm sorry. This is a nice poster back here, though. But no. So one of the things I would say is go out and do it.
Yeah.
Do it, because, and I mean do it, whether you know what you're doing or not. Trial and error is better than any
Right.
type of schooling that you can get. So go out and do it. Go out and do it. Watch it. Then go out and do it better. Just try it. Because if you never tried, there will be a lot. There were so many people that told me I couldn't get to where I am right now. There were so many people, even up to last week,
Wow.
that have told me that's not, if I would have listened to certain people, I would have never went to AMC with what I wanted. Ask for what you want.
That's right.
Yeah, ask for what you want. Let them be able to tell you no. Let them tell you no. Don't tell yourself no.
Let
That is the
them
biggest-
make them say no.
There is no blueprint to making film. The only blueprint I would say is make sure what you're getting is what's in your head. Make sure that the product that you're getting is what you thought of. It's not I don't have the blueprint of making film. John Singleton does not have the blueprint of making film. No known or unknown director has the blueprint of making film. What they have the blueprint of is what makes their film the way that you see it. But
Right.
there is no blueprint to making film. It's an art. It's what comes off of your heart.
Right.
Try it. Do it. Try it out. Do it. Find a lot of people that will do it for free and pay them. That's my motto.
That's good.
Find a lot of people that'll do it for free and pay them. You'll get a way, way better product.
Did y'all hear that?
Yeah, that's a jewel. Jewel.
That's good. That's good. Well, thank you so much again for sharing this space with me. I feel so privileged to be here with you. We look forward to more.
Oh yeah, it's coming. It's coming. You have to check out, get involved, support, let's work together. Atlanta is doing their thing because they choose to work together. We definitely need to work together because we are not crabs in a bucket
Right.
they
Wanna portray us to be.
Yeah, it's a very, very, what's his name? Michael Sterling. I was at a award show last night and he said, we're not crabs in a bucket, it's new. Right, it is new. So we're figuring out how to handle this thing, but we definitely need to get involved and handle it together, and I think we'll get way, way further, way faster.
Well, I'm so proud of you, and I'm so proud of all of Houston's talent, filmmaker, writer, director. I mean, what don't you do? I'm excited.
I act a little bit, but
And you were in
I'm
music too at one point, right?
Yeah, I was in music, but don't look that up. But I'm actually interested in acting in someone else's film that I have nothing to do with behind the scenes.
Nice.
That's actually one of my goals.
You wanted to get on the other side of the camera.
Yeah, I just want to go and learn and just be directed on the scene to see how it feels to be directed so that I can be a better director later.
You want to be the student.
Yeah, I wanna
I can
be the
dig it. Thank you again for joining us here at Film Talk, and we will see you guys next time.